Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Alright, I want to try something a little bit different today. I'm still working on these little cubes that I got from Dollar Tree. You can get them just about anywhere in different sizes, but these are the ones I found at Dollar Tree. They're about a 1/4 inch, a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch, and I've been having fun making different things. Today I wanted to create a record player. Or a gramophone, I'm not sure which. Probably just a record player this time around, and then maybe the next one we'll do a gramophone. It's probably about the same way of making it, but you know, let's have fun with it. First I'm going to, without hurting myself, probably just cut some of this off so we don't have a full square block. There we go. So you could make two depending on how high or how low you want it. I'm just going to sand this. Make sure my edges are kind of smooth. You could paint these, you could stain these, whatever you like. I'm just going to round all the edges. For the most part. I find if I want a sort of a plastic kind of look, using nail polish works really well. This is on a bit of an angle, as you can see. I could trim it. Remember what I said about trimming? It's a slippery slope. But it's okay. I think we can do it on a little bit of an angle. I think it'd still work. It'll be fine. I think it'd be kind of cute, just a different accent kind of thing. And then I just want to make sort of a base for it, just something to make it look a little bit more well put together kind of thing. Oops, sorry. So I'm just gonna go a little bit bigger than that square. Tin snips work really well for this. You just have to make sure you hold on to that side that you want it to keep so it doesn't rip apart on you. Again, around the corners, it just makes it look a little bit more finished. I'm not too worried about snags or anything like that. It's actually fairly smooth. That's a little bit bigger. It just makes it look a little bit more substantial. You don't have to do that part if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. I kind of like the idea. I think most record players don't have that, but you know what? This is my record player. I can make it any which way I like. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to take a little bit to dry, and then we'll come back to that. We'll have to drill a couple of holes. So there's that. So for my records, because you know, what's a record player without a record? I'm just using my hole punch and some scrap black cardstock. Right? Just some scrap cardstock. This is a little bit heavier than cardstock weight. I had a multi pack of different weights, so, and then just for the center, for the label part where the songs would be written, I just used my marker to make red. I was too lazy to go find my red construction paper or cardstock. So I am going to glue a couple of these together because it'll just give it a bit more heft to it that I'm looking for. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're enjoying the series. miniatures is a fairly new craft for me, but I am enjoying it, so I hope you are also. There we go. So I'm going to do these records first so that I know how big to make the sleeves for them. There we go. I have quite a few here, I think. That's okay. It'll look nice on a shelf when you have a bunch of them. So when you're stacking them together, it'll look really cool. Now you could print off band labels and stuff like that. I'm not going to. I'm trying to make something that you can do without a computer. You don't have to worry about resizing or buying anything other than what you might already have. So you could use scrapbook paper if you have it. You could use magazine cutouts, whatever. I am also into junk journals, so I also have papers like these. So these come in fairly thick booklets, but they have all these different images, which I thought would be kind of cool for album covers. So a little bit more abstract. Some are a bit more nature inspired than others, but you know, they have some urban settings, country settings, sky, animals even, so I thought they'd be fun to use in this kind of application, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, so now I'm going to punch out some of these. Just get your regular old hole punch, or whatever size you're going to end up making it, that's what you're going to use. I always do a couple of extra just in case I mess it up. Because you never know. So I could go a little bit bigger. I don't know. I don't think I have anything bigger. I don't think it matters too much. Because if you compare, that's actually not bad. If you were to use just plain red construction paper, you wouldn't have the white edging on the red punched up parts. But it's up to you. We'll let this dry before we put a hole in them. I'll center those in a second properly. Now, not all records have that red center. Some of them are blue, some of them are like an off-white. It all depends on what you have on hand. You can do it to match your miniature space that you're making. You could do both sides, which would be kind of cool too, which is probably not a bad idea since most records you play both sides. All right, luckily I did quite a few. Now, I haven't played vinyl in such a long time. I don't have a record player anymore. I used to when I was a teenager, but not so much anymore. Which is, you know. Anybody else remember the K-Tel records? Oh my goodness. Some of them were really good. Others were like, oh, I've never heard of that song or that band, but, you know. Widen your horizons a little bit. I guess nowadays you would call it either indie or, you know, things like that. All right. If you really want it to be extra, you could do the little grooves in there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll be okay once this dries clear. We are going to make it so that you can actually put it on the record player. So you want to try and center these as best as you can. All right, there we go. All right, gonna let that dry and we'll come back to it. See you in a sec. Okay. Took me a little bit to figure this part out. Okay, so I made little sleeves. I did end up cutting out some more of my records and not doubling up the black pieces. I found it was a little bit too thick to push my darning needle through. So just a note to self. I found some of these pictures of from the stacks that I got from AliExpress, and I thought they'd be cute as record covers, in case you didn't want to cut any out. Now what you could do is you could also use scrapbook paper, magazines, things like that, but stuff like this, you know, it'd be really cute for an album cover. So yeah, so I think my records look pretty close. Let me just take it out. So this is just tracing paper for the inner piece, and then, you know, that's pretty close, not bad. And now I just need to make the album cover itself. So I thought that'd be kind of cute. We can work on that, and then we'll come back to this because then we'll be set to go with that. Anyway, yeah. So you could go either way. You could go this way and then slip the album in that way. It depends on how big your piece of paper is, right? So I could go that way. I don't know. But I kind of like the windows and the graphics here, and I like that it's a softer kind of color. You could do it, oops, whichever way you like, of course. Alright, we're going to go this way. But these pieces of paper are perfect size for this, because I just have to trim only a little bit off, and then I should be good to go. Now normally, you know, album covers would be very folded and nicely glued. I am not going to do all of that. I'm not going to be overly finicky with it. So I just want to make sure it fits, and then I will trim it as needed. Right? So it's not bad. Normally they would all be very even, very square. Mine obviously is whatever I can get it to do. Now I will put a little divot probably in the back so that I don't have, well, we could do it in the front, it's fine. Just a little one, just so I can take it out easier. And I think it'd be good. And if you wanted to label these, you could. Put a title on them, kind of thing. There we go. So I'll push that in later once the glue has dried. That's one. And if you like, you can make it stand out a little bit more with some ink. It's a bit too light. There we go. All right, that is one record. Again, the glue's not 100% dry, but you get the gist. All right, I'm going to work on some more, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back to the record player. I'm going to drill at least 2 holes. Now, as you can see here, this is a very inside of a box kind of thing. So this is going to be sort of a cross between a gramophone and a record player, because that's just how I am. I do need to center my little record on here, so I'm going to find it. My holes are not exactly center, as you can tell, but that's okay. So it's sort of centered there. We'll go with that. Handmade is never perfect. I'm not about perfection. luckily it'll be fine. And then we need a spot for the arm. Make sure you don't go all the way to the bottom. You should be good to go. So that is that. And we're going to paint it. I'm going to have to go pick a color. We'll be right back. Alright, I found some nail polish that I like. I just get it at the dollar store. It's the Mariposa brand. It's actually pretty good. But I like the small jars for these little things. If I can get it open. There we go. And I need my pokey tool. There it is. So I'm just gonna go like this and then paint it since it's all dry now. You could use regular paint, of course, that is the idea, but look at how cool that looks. That makes it look like plastic. Which is really neat. I love that effect. You could use decoupage or whatever, I suppose, if you really wanted to. That's just going to spin on me, isn't it? Fine. And you really don't need a whole lot of coats of this. You could obviously put a clear coat of nail polish over top if you want the extra shine. But I like how this makes it look like a plastic instead of just a painted wood kind of thing, which is kind of cool. If you don't like the smell, obviously just use regular paint and Mod Podge. That's the word I'm looking for. So there we go. And then I will do the rest after. Alright, it's not all the way dry yet, but we're getting there. So, again, you can always put another coat on there. I might do that later. It did get stuck there because I have no patience to wait for things to dry. So, anyway, now we need our centerpiece for the record, and then we will glue those in. So all you do is make sure that your wire is long enough to hold the record. Okay? Yes, my hole is off center. It's okay. I am not going to worry about it. So I want to make sure that this is high enough. Again, I can trim some of that. I don't think it's that big a deal, but we will be fine. There we go. It's an approximation of the center. And then all I did was bend my other wire so that when I go to put my record on, it'll be close enough to look like it's actually the arm for the record player. Just make sure you have enough glue so that it sits in there. You can make these movable, it all depends. But for me, it's just about the look of it. It's not so much the movability. I just want to take the excess glue off in case, you know, you do want to. Just pop your record on. Put that that way. Whoops. Probably needs to be a little bit higher. Come on. And there we have our little record player. How cute is that? Simple. Yet another thing to make out of those little square blocks. You could paint the little arm there if you wanted to. You could use black wire or brass wire. But there we go. Our little albums and our little record player. How cute. Give me 1 second. Alright, and there we have the little record player. How cute is that? With a little chair, some records, and a plant. They make a great little scene inside your dollhouse. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.